the Red Wings in action on Saturday. And in my opinion, they play perhaps their best game of the season. 4-0 win over the Montreal Canadiens. And the reason I say this was probably the Red Wings' best game of the season is for a couple reasons. Specifically, in the first period, it's been made a thing with this Red Wings team, especially over the last couple weeks, that this Red Wings team is known for getting off to slow starts. And we saw this in the team's previous game against Vancouver. Even though the Red Wings dominated that game, the first 10 minutes specifically, they came out really sluggish. Vancouver coming out with a lot of energy, lots of great scoring chances early, with, of course, great goaltending by John Gibson to stop all of said chance. And then the Red Wings finally settled in midway through the first, and they really took off from there. This game, on the other hand, against Montreal, they were there right from the jump. Red Wings just dominant from the beginning, getting lots of great scoring chances, and they also just limited the chances by Montreal to really get any good looks, really at all. You know, there was the best chance they had in the first period, juicy 2-on-1. I don't know how Montreal didn't score on this, but terrific save by John Gibson. It pretty much like squeaked behind him, and it was like inches away from the goal line, and he was able to react in time, you know, get that covered up, get it out of there, and, you know, get the save. And Gibson played incredible. This guy's on fire right now. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find a goaltender in the National Hockey League that is more on fire than this guy right here, John Gibson. Of course, another shutout, another win to his name. But again, from the first period, Red Wings getting a lot of scoring chances. Still scoreless going into the second period, but then the Red Wings start to put up the goals. The first goal of the game, we had this happen a couple weeks ago, where, you know, the Red Wings just dump it in, and it takes a weird bounce off the glass, off the boards, and the goaltender, Jacob Fowler, he leaves the net anticipating it to just, you know, go around the boards, go behind the net, and he could kind of control it and, you know, give it to his teammate as opposed to let the Red Wings go into the zone and set up and try to get some shots up. But, you know, just sending the puck into the zone takes a weird bounce. Fowler leaves the net to go behind the net, but it bounces, squirts right in front of the net, so Lucas Raymond had a wide open net to just, you know, score on. And that happened a couple weeks ago. I remember at that time being like, I've never seen this really happen before. You know, that's a kind of a lucky bounce that the Red Wings got, but it happened again in this one for the first goal of the game. And that's just like, wow, the Red Wings getting some amazing luck with the puck, rhyming accidentally. Getting that to happen again, and they get the first goal. And then Red Wings on the power play, able to get the goal in this one. They were just 1 of 5 on the power play, by the way, in this one. Lots of bad penalties by Montreal throughout the game. And it's not like they were bad calls, per se. It's just, they were just, you know, bad, really avoidable penalties. But the Red Wings only able to capitalize on one of them. Larkin getting that one at the end of the second period. And then third period, right in, Alex DeBrincat just right off the face-off. Bam, pass, point, shot. 3-0. They pretty much take over from there. And then a good amount of shots. You know, according to the final stats, Montreal outshot the Red Wings 27-24. But the majority of those came in those last few minutes when Montreal, pretty much the last 5 minutes of the game, had the empty net. Which, I mean, at that point, it's like you pretty much already lost. So, I mean, what more do you have to lose? You know, why not just get the extra skater, try to come back? Even though you really don't see it when you're down 3 goals like that. You pretty much see it every single time when you're down 1 goal, maybe 2 goals. But you really don't see that when you're down 3 goals. So the Canadiens did pull their goalie down 3. Kopp buries the empty netter. And Red Wings get a big win. But again, just top to bottom, best win of the season, in my opinion, because of just the completeness of the game. They played amazing, outplayed the Canadiens all 3 periods, consistently getting great scoring chances while limiting quality chances by Montreal the other way. And John Gibson, anytime the Canadiens did get any solid scoring chances, I mean, he's there to shut the flipping door every single time. Again, I cannot understate it enough. This guy has turned around his season because, the first month, even 2 months of the season, I was really not impressed with John Gibson. He was really the high-profile acquisition in the offseason for this Red Wings team. And it's like, okay, maybe an upgrade at goaltender, but what they really need is just a consistent number one goaltender, because it's been the last couple years they've been rotating, goaltenders, nobody really establishing themselves as a go-to guy. And anytime you have a goalie that does kind of stand out one season, the next season going in as arguably the number one guy, they just, kind of fall flat in their faces and they fade away, and then they end up, on a different team. Alex Lyon, the most recent example. Ville Husso is another recent example of that. But then going into this season with John Gibson, search some of the early losses that he had. I don't necessarily pin on him, but I just was not really impressed with his play. And I was just like, another year of just inconsistent goaltender play by this Red Wings team. But no, this season, this last month specifically, this guy has just turned it around. And it all started during that 6-game win streak. 6-game win streak. That 6-game road trip, 5-6-game road trip that the Red Wings had early December out west. And he was able to get a shutout specifically against Vancouver. And that really kind of turned his season around. And then after that, it was just win, just racking up the wins. As a matter of fact, since that road trip started, this guy has gone 11-2 in net. And he's been able to pick up 3 shutouts in that time. This was his 3rd shutout in that stretch. So, again, John Gibson, I tip my cap to you. You have turned your season around, and you've given this Red Wings team a lot of energy. Just giving him that confidence with the teammates in front of him, stepping up, making these big saves, and then just the team in front, the defensive core, everybody playing a lot more confident with this guy in net. And not to take anything away from Cam Talbot, he has had his moments in net this season, but I mean, John Gibson, I think he has definitely established himself as the go-to guy in net for this Red Wings team, especially with how hot he's been. He's just been unbelievable. He's making incredible saves time and time again. And keep in mind, this is a Montreal team that is, a little bit of a surprise this season, just like the Red Wings. They were not really projected to finish that high in terms of the Eastern Conference. But, I mean, there they've been, just like the Red Wings, at the top of the Atlantic Division. And, I mean, they've been kind of separating themselves. It's been the Red Wings, the Lightning, and the Canadiens really, starting to separate themselves in that Atlantic Division. You do have, like, the Buffalo Sabres, who have gotten hot kind of in the same stretch as the Red Wings, for example, who have been, trying to scratch and claw their way into that top 3. But, these are 2 teams, the Red Wings and the Canadiens, that have played exceptionally well to this point, the first, now over half of the season. And keep in mind, the Canadiens were playing some really good hockey going into this game as well. They were on the heels of 3 straight wins, 5 of their last 6, playing really good hockey, including wins over the Panthers, of course, in the division, trying to heat up, and then the Dallas Stars in overtime. That's a big win, just like the Red Wings are able to get over the Stars in late December. But, the Red Wings against the team, lots of division implications, standings implications. The Red Wings going there on the road. Tough place to play, by the way. The Bell Center, those fans, they really get into it. I mean, they made a point to bring that up during the television broadcast on FanDuel Sports Detroit. It's a tough place to play. But the Red Wings absolutely showed up and played a complete game in all facets. Offensively, defensively, goaltending, John Gibson playing good, and playing good for all 3 periods as well, because that's been a thing last couple of years with the Red Wings is, they usually have that one bum period and they maybe play good for 2 of them. And obviously this season it's been the first periods that have been a bit of an issue for them, especially, getting going with scoring goals. But I'm impressed Red Wings, big win. In my opinion, the most complete of the season. And they find themselves back in first place of the Atlantic Division. 1 point over Tampa, 2 points over the Montreal Canadiens. And we got two big games back-to-back tonight and tomorrow. At home tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes, and then on the road tomorrow against the Boston Bruins, which obviously big game tonight, not only against another great team in the Eastern Conference, who they themselves, the Hurricanes, coming in on a 4-game winning streak, and they did recently beat the Red Wings 5-2 in late December. But tonight is the jersey retirement ceremony of one Sergei Fedorov. Long overdue. Number 91 going to the rafters. And those going to the game tonight, encouraged to show up early. They're doing the whole thing pre-game. So that's going to be a cool way to kick off this game. And the Red Wings will, want to try to play well and get this one in honor of number 91. So that's definitely going to be something fun to watch this evening with the Sergei Fedorov jersey retirement ceremony. And then we'll see if the Red Wings can keep the momentum going. 3-game winning streak off of, I keep saying it, arguably most complete performance of the season against another quality opponent. We'll see if they could get another win, again, against one of the best in the Eastern Conference this season.
If you missed today's installment of On the Docket, podcast it at fox1019.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to tune in live weekdays at noon on Jackson's Fox Sports 101.9 FM.